Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. Good morning. Welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie, and I have a question for you. How is your tire functioning? I had somebody reach out yesterday and she said, hey, I heard you explain your life is like a tire and talking about different spokes and how different spokes can affect different spokes. It might not make sense to you, but I'm going to talk about it right now. So as you're tuning in, tell me where you're tuning in from, and I'm going to walk you through something really quick. If you're working on your vision board, if you're working on anything, which I hope most people are, I think oftentimes, I've talked about this in the past, but I've talked about how we think that life has to be balanced. And in some ways, yes. And there are seasons when you're focused, but sometimes you're trying to fix something, right? Like, I'm going to give you an example and I'm going to walk you through maybe if you're creating a vision board right now, which we have done for the last couple weeks. And we talked about how creating a vision board for this next year, how it can give you a vision for 2024. It can give you a focus, right? It can help you stay focused, and the power of having a vision board. So if you followed along and you're creating, I would love to see it. If you don't create a vision board, you have no idea what I'm talking about, I would encourage you to go to ketomomsecrets.com, click on book club, and then head on to the book called Dream It, Pin It, Live It, Create a Vision Board. I believe it'll help you in this next year. Now, I had somebody ask me this yesterday, and I said, hey, I'll do a live. So I want you to think about your life like a tire, right? Like, this is your life. Oh no, my markers might not be great, but this is your life. We could say it's like a bike tire, right? And in your life, you've got different areas of your life, right? So this is a spoke, and this might be your family. So you've got your family spoke. You've got your spiritual spoke. So I'll just write faith. You've got your work spoke, right? Let's see. You've got your fitness or your health spoke. Because these are all things, these are all things that affect your life, right? You might have goals around them, and they might be different. They will be different for everybody. You've got your health spoke. You've got your family, but I'm also going to write your relationships, like friendships, mentors. So you've got your relationships outside of family. Finances, and you've got your finances. I feel like that covers a majority of, I clearly need some new whiteboard markers. Homeschool mom, we go through these things a lot. All right, so this is your tire, right? And sometimes we try to, like a lot of you are right now going, I want to fix this spoke. I want my health to be better. I want to lose weight. I want to, whatever it is for you. And sometimes we actually might feel like this spoke is broken. You might go, yeah, which makes your tire flat, or it might feel flat. If one of these spokes is broken, it might feel like your life isn't moving in the right direction. Here's what I want to encourage you to do. Sometimes we think that if we just work on this and work on this and work on our health spoke, it's going to fix everything. I want you just to have an awareness. I want you to evaluate the rest of your life. Oftentimes we get so fixated, and listen, the other day I talked about balance versus focus. I believe that if you really want to lose 50 pounds this year, if you really want to get healthy, if you need to get healthy, if you're one of those people that you're like, I hit rock bottom, I've hit the bottom, and it's not an option for my health, I have to get healthy. You're for sure going to put more effort and energy into your health spoke, right? But there is a key to still keeping this, not somewhat balanced, but like so that your family's on board with you, right? So here's a couple things I want you to think about as you're either creating your vision board, you're just simply creating your own goals for this next year. If you're like, I need something to change, I want you to first think about like, okay, here's my life. Here are the things that affect my life. And go through each spoke, go through each category. How is your family? How's your relationships? If it's great, awesome. Keep it where it's at. Like, keep working on it. Be intentional with it. How is your faith? How is your work life? How's your finances? How are all of these things? Because just so you know, you might be so fixated on your health, but your finances might be broken, and you might realize like, oh shoot, you know what? If I actually focused on my finances, it would actually help all of the other areas. Or hey, I actually feel like everything's going well, but I still feel like I'm lonely. I still feel like I'm missing something. Like there's something still missing in my life. Maybe it's faith, right? Maybe it's your spiritual journey. Or maybe you're in a workspace where you're like, I could do so much more. I'm just letting you know that I believe that all of these things affect each other. And when one of them is broken, it might feel like all of them are broken. And that might not be the case. So you really have to give yourself an evaluation to go, what really is broken? Where do I need to put my time? Where do I need to put my focus? Because it will help fix the other areas. Does this make sense? I was talking to a lady yesterday and I said, hey, I'll explain it to the best of my ability. Now, there are a lot of times where you're going to have to get focused in one area, right? You don't ignore all of them, but you're like, all right, for the next 90 days or for the next 6 months or for the next year, here's my focus. Or here's my focus, family. Or here's my focus, faith. And the way that you can be more focused on one spoke, once you realize where the broken pieces are, you might not have a balanced life this year. You might spend more time on your health than you spend with friendships. You might spend more time on your family than you do on work, which I hope you do. But I need you to understand, like, this doesn't mean it has to be balanced. There might be something broken that can be fixed, but the biggest key to all of this is communication with those people in your life. So if you're like, yep, I need to get healthy, my focus this year is consistency and being healthy, you better make sure that you're communicating with your family and your work and your friendships and your understanding finances to make this work, right? Like, hey, I want to get healthy. Hey, husband or wife or kids, like, I'm not going to go to this restaurant because it causes me to fail. Hey, friends, I'm actually not going to go out with you on Friday nights because I don't make wise choices. I'm focused on my health. I will join you in these environments. I won't join you in these environments. The choice is yours because you don't have to drop the entire circle or ruin all of the other spokes just to fix one, but you also need to be intentional and focus on how to fix this, right? So my encouragement to you is you're diving into, the end of 2023 and you're running into 2024, take an evaluation over your life. Where are some things that need to be fixed? Maybe a spot that you need to totally work on, and realizing like sometimes, it might be something like finances and it's the stress of this that's affecting this. But if I come here and stop spending so much money or steward my money well, or I make better choices, it actually would help my health. Or that would actually help my family. Or if I spent a little less time here, but I talked to my boss and said, my family is my priority, I'm not going to put in overtime, it would affect this spoke. I hope this makes sense. So for the amazing lady that said, hey, please go through this, I want to encourage you to, just as you're diving in, I think I just said this, to the end of the year, take an evaluation and decide where you're going to put your focus for next year, knowing that this might not be balanced, but in your communication and in you processing and in you sharing your journey with other people, the ones that are the closest to you, they should understand. And if they don't, at least you communicated with them. Hey, here's my priorities. Here's what I'm working on. Here's where I want our family to go. Here's what my hope is for the family, to have them understand where you're going. My husband and I did this. Like we dove in really strong in our business world for years. But every time that we made a business decision, or every time we were a little bit more focused on business in certain seasons, we were overly communicative. We overly communicated with our kids. Hey, this is what mom and dad are doing. Here's why we're doing it. Here's our focus. And here's the outcome when we achieve this goal. I would do the same for my health. Hey, I actually am going to be at the gym more. I'm going to not choose to participate in this environment. Hey, I'm not going to keep these certain foods in our home. Listen, it's not because, I don't want you to enjoy life, or it's not because I don't want you to have ice cream at the end of the night. But listen, this is something that's really important to me as a mom. And these 3 things I can't keep in my home because they cause me to fail, right? They cause me to go, and I just right now in my moment of weakness, I can't say no to the Oreo, so I'm going to keep them out of the home. I hope you understand. And does this make sense? Or hey, family, maybe your family isn't operating how you want it to. So you, as the parent, are going to be intentional with time set aside. Hey, guess what? We're going to be a family. We're going to work on this together. We're going to work on communicating, and I want to be a part of your life, and I want to know what you're doing, teenagers. So every Thursday night, phones are down, TVs are off. We're going to have a 30-minute to an hour to a couple-hour conversation where we sit around the table once a week, and I want to know you. We're doing this together. We're being intentional. Or your own faith. I was walking somebody through her faith journey yesterday. What does that look like, and how can you not feel lonely, and how can you lead your family and lead your kids? All of this, your tire and your spokes take intentionality. And so I would encourage you to do this with your own life. Remember, I was going through the book, Dream It, Pin It, Live It. And either A, you're going to participate in your life, and you're going to, you're either in the bleachers or you're on the field. You're either going to be, this to me is on the field. You're on the field. You are actively going, what needs to be fixed? Where should I work on? Where's my focus for this year? And remember, it's seasons. It might be 2 months. And if you intentionally work on something and you're like, this is great, where do I need to move on to next? Not letting that go, but I've created some healthy habits. So as these habits go, I can go over here and focus on something else. So are you going to play the game of life? Are you on the field? Are you in your life? Are you actively making choices? Are you being intentional? Or are you sitting on the sidelines? Are you in the bleachers letting life happen to you? Because just know this, life goes on. Whether you choose to participate, whether you choose to make whether you choose to set goals or not, the world will set goals for you. The world will tell you what to do. The world will pounce on you. Other people will tell you how they want you to live your life, or you get to choose to do it yourself, right? You don't just get to stop and then choose later on down the road. It always moves forward. Your choices matter, right? Your mindset matters. Your family matters. The people around you need you to be the best version of you. And that just means taking some time and figuring out what you truly want in your life, and if you've got a family, in your family's lives, and the best place to spend your time. So this is what we talked about this morning. I would love to just simply ask you, do you have any questions around that? Do you have any thoughts? If you want to share in the comment. I know some of you might be watching this as you're driving or you're at work, or maybe it's not as easy to comment, but I would love for you to come back later on when you get a chance, whether it's on lunch break or, a time that you are sitting in your car And just like, is there something around this conversation that you're like, here's some great insight. Here's an idea I have. Do you have anything to offer to the KetoMOM community? I would love to know your thoughts. Are you creating a vision board? Yeah, I'd love to know. So I want to say thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. As always, you can go to ketomomsecrets.com. You can click on recipes, how to get started. You can send me a message. You can click on book club, and I'd love to help you on your journey. And then I've got a podcast. There's a couple fun things that are coming on Friday. It will include the blessings calendar I have been talking about. So I promise you that'll be out by Friday. You can print it off and use it. I have a video that explains how it works. So that all of that's coming. I haven't forgot. It's almost ready. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. I would love for you to press the share button. Sharing is caring. It invites people to join us. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.